It doesn't matter who you are or where you're starting from. If you clicked on this video, chances are you've been trying to make progress. But no matter how hard you try, something isn't clicking. I've been there. Frustrated, exhausted, wondering why it seems so effortless for other people. If that's you right now, here's something you need to hear. Those successful people you see, they're not superhuman. They're not born with a secret code that you don't have. You and Iway carry the same potential. We can match them. We can even exceed them. I know that might sound unrealistic. How can exceeding everyone be easier than struggling just to keep up? It all comes down to the path you choose. The world shouts the same answer at you over and over. Discipline. You hear it everywhere. If you don't have discipline, you're nobody. Do what you hate like you love it. And yes, there's truth in that. You don't need to feel good about the work. You just have to keep going. The feelings will fade. You will remain. But here's the real obstacle. Our brains are wired to conserve energy. We're programmed to chase the easiest reward with the least effort because once, that's what survival required. So when we force ourselves to do things that drain us, we're actually going against millions of years of hardwiring. But what if, instead of swimming upstream all the time, you could swim with the current? What if there was a way to get better results with less resistance? There is. And it begins with your natural interests. The things you're pulled toward without anyone telling you. The thoughts that won't leave you alone. The activities that energize you rather than drain you. That's not coincidence. That's talent. Some talents are obvious creativity, leadership, communication, but others are quieter, harder to see. Being curious, that's a talent. Being competitive, that's a talent. Being methodical, empathetic, responsible, all talents. Now picture this. What if you took something that's already a part of you and used it as your foundation? That's the secret to exceeding everyone else. Because when you build from your strengths, you don't burn out. You build momentum. Even the traits you've been told are weaknesses, they might be your greatest edge. Stubborn, maybe you're persistent. Anxious, maybe you're a planner, a strategist, someone who anticipates what others miss. Sensitive, maybe you have emotional intelligence others only dream of. When you use what's already in you, success stops being such a grind. You begin to move faster, not because you're pushing harder, but because you're finally aligned. And then it happens. People start noticing. You get encouragement, praise, small wins. It feels good. So you keep going. Repetition turns into mastery. And soon, people think you're just naturally gifted. But you know better. You're consistent because you're finally on a path that fits. Most people stay stuck because they chase a version of success that was never meant for them. They work twice as hard for average results because they're operating outside their zone. I've done it too. I once took a sales job that seemed perfect on paper. Flexible hours, extra income, freedom to work from anywhere. But I never stopped to ask, does this actually align with who I am? Turns out, it didn't. Even the thought of calling strangers made my heart race. I pushed myself to try harder, thinking that would solve it. But it only made things worse. I watched others thrive because they genuinely enjoyed the competition, the connections, the energy. Meanwhile, I felt like I was walking uphill in mud. Eventually, I realized my real strength wasn't persuasion. It was observation. It was thinking deeply, analyzing, solving quietly. That's who I've always been. And when I started building from that place, everything changed. Discipline is still part of the journey, but it becomes lighter when it flows from who you are, not who you think you're supposed to be. Just look at Brandon Burlsworth. He walked on to the Arkansas Razorbacks football team. No scholarship, no glamour. People laughed. They didn't see the vision. He was overweight, underestimated, ignored. But Brandon stayed true to what he had. Relentless drive, deep faith, an incredible work ethic, grounded in humility. He didn't try to be flashy. He just stayed consistent. Day after day, year after year, he became the most respected player on the team. Eventually, he earned a scholarship, became an All-American, and was drafted into the NFL. He exceeded expectations not by trying to become someone else, but by committing fully to who he already was. That's what's possible. In school, we're graded on everything math, science, history, even the things we're naturally bad at. But in life, you get to choose which tests to take. And when you choose the tests that fit your strengths, you don't just succeed. You exceed. So here's the truth. You don't need to force yourself into a mold. You don't need to be like them. You need to know yourself, and then build a life that lets you thrive. Because when you do, no one can match you.